Well, today we are videoing the lineups for the match Ireland vs England in the Summer Nations Rugby World Cup warm-up matches, and it is going to be a really big match. A lot of injuries so far coming up to the World Cup, and these two teams, although they want to not get players injured, they are still really wanting to win and get their players fit and ready for the coming World Cup. So we look over these lineups. Two decent teams, I think. Ireland, the better of the sides, but England, with all the experienced players, I think can really push them to their limits, especially going into the World Cup. As we look forward, we'll start off with the Irish pack. And to start off with, the loose head prop for Ireland is Andrew Porter. He played really well last year in the Autumn Nations, and also well in the Six Nations too. So he'll be a player to watch out for with Tag Furlong and Dan Sheehan. Those front three are really strong players that I think have been the dominating factor that Ireland have used over the past few years with their growing up team that are really coming to international level and levelling up the side. Definitely one of the reasons why they are number one on the rankings list. Going down to number 4 lock, we have Tag Ben, not highly experienced, but still a player of pure skill and a player really likely to push it far to the limits. But anyway, going over to James Ryan. He's also a very strong lock. He was one of the better players in the Autumn Nations too. This pack is a real experienced side. I think it's one of their stronger sides they'll use for the World Cup. Going on to blindside flanker, Peter O'Mahony. He's also really impact on the blind side for Ireland, a really strong physical player that can really put pressure on the New Zealand pack. He was very decent against New Zealand last year, and against England he will be really big for their rivalry against England. Josh van der Fleer, of course, he is Ireland's Player of the Year, or Player of the Year last year, World Player of the Year, and man, he is good when he's in his form, and when he's out, he's very good whenever, and they'll rely on him during this World Cup. But they do have that other factors around that, around the forward pack for Ireland. Then we have Prendergast, number 8. I think we usually see, I think it's Ori and Doris around there. Prendergast, he'll be coming in. I think he won't be the starting number 8, but he'll be in the squad, I'd say. Jamison Gibson Park, halfback. He's a really strong player. He's probably one of their best players at the moment. He's really good because those halfbacks around Europe, the better halfbacks in Europe, are usually the ones that are running the ball up, and he's really good at playing around, running through the defence, trying to break holes around, and just got a good overall pass and all that a halfback needs. And then we got Ross Bryan. Usually it would be Sexton, but he is not playing this week. It's Ross Bryan. I think they'll just be trying him out coming into the World Cup. These players, they'll have to be trying to rest Sexton coming in. It's a really big, tough game, so they'll be really needing to stop chances of injuries for those more older players. Then we got James Lowe, really strong winger at the moment for Ireland. He's got to get back into form coming to the World Cup. Same as Bundy Aki, really strong at the midfield. Then Gary Ringrose also very good when he's in form. This back line is a really strong one. They'll just be hoping there are no injuries. It's a decently young side. Pick the younger players just so they know are less likely to get injured. And then there's Matt Hansen on the right wing and Hugo Keenan at fullback. Hugo Keenan, very player who's really showing he can come into the side. Then we got Rob Herring, Lauerman, Bellum, McCarthy, and Doris. Doris will be hoping to get on the field. I think he's ready to come into this World Cup. They're probably resting him because he's may get injured, and it's like they want to keep those players safe before the World Cup. Conor Murray, similar, except, those two halfbacks are always going to be Conor Murray and Gibson Park, sorry. And then Jack Crowley, another good player, and Keith Earls. Yeah. And now onto the England pack. It's actually, I picked more of a experienced, I think, squad. Here they've got Genge, George, Will Stewart coming. Those front three are coming up. With Jamie George, we always know he's good, but the other two, the props, decent. It's a side that I think could put pressure on that Ireland pack, but I think Ireland, there's too much experience on that side that will really put pressure on England's front pack. Then we got a Toje experience. We can just see he's going to be good already. He's such a good player when it comes down to World Cups, and really I think he's going to be starting most matches at least. And Dave Ribbons, yeah, it's quite. I don't really have that much interest in these players. They're not that highly known, Courtney Laws, blindside flanker. Ben Earl at open side. Vinnie Pola for that physical impact. He's a big player. He played last World Cup. He'll be hoping he can do the same as what he did last World Cup. Ben Youngs, with the Van Poortvliet out, Ben Youngs will have a big job to do throughout coming to this World Cup. So it's really tough for them in this halfback side. Then we've got George Ford, decent player. Usually it would be what's his name? Marcus Smith, Marcus Smith who takes over, but George Ford in there just trying to play him before the World Cup. Elliot Daly on the wing. Age maybe could turn to injuries. Johnny May's missed out on the squad. I don't know if he's playing. No, he's not. And Tuilagi, big midfielder, marching. They just got to watch out they don't injure those players. And Anthony Watson, big player. He's really that X factor, that different style of wing. That instead of just pace, he's more just X factor, speed, stepping, everything they want. Freddie Stewart, young player coming up. He's really sort of slotting himself into this England side. Theo Dan, Marler, Sinclair, quite a decently experienced side to play. I think most of them played in the World Cup squad last time. And then there's Chisholm, Willis, Danny Kerr. He's got to slot himself in there too, as there is no Portfleet, obviously. Marcus Smith, I don't think he's not starting this time, but he'll usually be starting the World Cup, I'd say. And then Ollie Lawrence. And pretty much what I think about these two squads is that they're two teams that will really put pressure on each other. I don't think it'll be that much of a physical battle as World Cup's coming up. No, and no one wants injuries. But we've seen so far there have been some physical battles and a lot of injuries. So they'll be really hoping this all goes to plan for both teams. And England will really be hoping if they can get close to this Ireland side, they can really get momentum coming to the World Cup. Okay, thank you. Please like and subscribe.